Hello YouTubers, Gene here with my Diamondback DB380. I own both the Diamondback 380 and the Diamondback DB9. As you probably know, quite often these firearms have a misfeed problem, and my two firearms were no exception to the rule. On my Diamondback DB9, I found that bullets being fed in occasionally would porpoise. That is, they would go up the feed ramp and they would get stuck like that. I was able to resolve that, and I have another video out there that shows how I did that. This video concerns my Diamondback DB380. The misfeeds for it, occasionally the bullet would feed and directly impact the tip of the feed ramp and get stuck there. Well, I noticed something with the Diamondback feed ramp and my Ruger LCP feed ramp. As you can see, there is a big difference between the two. This one is pretty sharp. This one is very rounded and is a much steeper angle. I figured if I could shorten the feed ramp on the DB380 and round the tip, perhaps the bullets wouldn't get stuck. So that's what I did. I used my Dremel tool and took a felt polishing pad, added some red rouge to it, and this is how the pad ended up looking. I then polished the feed ramp. I took and polished up into here quite a bit, but then I polished the tip of the feed ramp like this. And eventually it shortened the feed ramp a little bit and it rounded it a little bit. It's no longer as sharp as it once was. It is rounded a little bit. That seemed to resolve the problem, because what I did is I then loaded the magazine and put 10 magazines full of bullets through this manually by racking the slide. That's 120 rounds. It didn't jam on any of them. Then this past weekend, I took this out into the field, did some shooting, and again, this weekend it performed flawlessly. So I believe I have resolved the problem. So let's go ahead and reassemble this firearm and put a couple rounds through it manually, so you can see that it is resolved. Two bullets in the magazine. Here's the first one. Second one. And it is now empty. So I believe at this point I have resolved the problems with this Diamondback DB380. I really like the gun. I like the design. I like the way it feels in my hand. It shoots wonderfully, and the trigger is very comfortable. So I'm very pleased that I seem to have resolved the problem of misfeeds for this, as well as my DB9. If you have a DB9, take a look at my other video. Thank you.